So I just figured something out that I've been trying to figure out for a really long time. And the pieces just clicked today. So I'm going to tell you. Have you ever heard people talk about how mental illness is spiritual warfare? Or how mental illness is like caused by demons and stuff, and like, oh, you just got prayed away, and like, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard that or not. I had heard that. I had heard different, like, but no one had ever been able to explain to me why it was considered that. I'd be like, why? Oh, it's just one of those, it's just one of those things. And I'm like, that is not an acceptable answer. Like, no. Okay, so I had heard it, but I didn't understand it. Today, I figured it out. I figured out why it's considered spiritual warfare. Okay, so I am diagnosed by the government of the United States through the Veterans Hospital as being bipolar. That is their official diagnosis of the Catherine condition, among other things. They have other diagnoses as well, but we don't need to get into all of them. Bipolar is their base one we're going to stick to because it works. Okay. So, I believe I'm autistic or something along that spectrum as well. It goes all together if you look into that stuff. So, but I'm also very depressed. Like, I definitely got that. I have been suicidal since I was around 4. Wanting to kill myself. Like, actively attempting, like, dreaming, fantasizing, 24. Like, I was depressed. I was lonely. Hang on, let me change lanes. I'm watching this guy. He's being a little suspicious right now. I think he's okay, so I'm going to move on over. Alright. So, like, and this has been my whole life. And, so I started thinking about, I don't know if you have ever heard about generational curses. And how, like, the idea of, like, demons attacking your family, and, like, the same demon, like, people will be like, oh, that's just my family demon. And you hear about this, and, like, another thing is strongholds. That's another big key word that I hear thrown around a lot. And I've been trying to figure this out. Okay, so, you ready to go? You ready for this? I figured it out. We're all moving over. I don't know why we're all moving over, but we're all moving over. Okay, so, my dad's side of the family, generational curse, his mental illness, his demon affliction, his whatever you want to call it, that makes you feel comfy, cozy inside, and you know, whatever you've been trained to recognize this phrase as, depression. If we look at the Bible, what is the opposite of depression? Joy. Who brings us joy? Jesus. You know, he's the only one who can give us true joy, to fill us up when we're lonely, to give us peace. So Jesus' joy is the opposite of depression. So, if your family, so my dad had depression, my grandma, my dad's mom, had depression, like horrible struggles. I remember them talking about it growing up. Like, my dad would tell me when I was depressed and crying And he would tell me I was like this, my mom was like this, and he would tell me, I'm sorry, I don't know how to, and he didn't know how to help. He wanted to help so bad, but he didn't know how, because no one had ever taught him how. And he knew Jesus was the answer, which is why he was a Christian, but like no one had ever told him why Jesus was the answer, or how Jesus was the answer. And like he didn't, so like he knew he could feel it, even though he didn't know it. And so he clung on to that hope. And so he taught that hope to me. And so, but that's that side. So then on my mom's side, I believe that's where the autism comes from. Autism, I feel like a big part of it, or at least the part I experience, has to do with a lack of filter and a lack of being able to lie. Autistic people blurt out what they say. They say it how it is. They say it how they see it. And if they don't understand, they let you know. They don't hold back. They don't care about hurting your feelings because, no offense, little snowflake, honey, your feelings aren't as important as the truth. So let's cut the BS, put on our big boy pants, suck up our chin, and let's figure out the truth. And people don't like that. That hurts their feelings. So what do people do to truth tellers? They teach them to lie. They teach them little white lies. They teach them gray. Not black and white. There's not right and wrong. There's gray. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Calm down. It's just a little white lie. It's just a little this. It's just a little that. And so the opposite of telling the truth, which is of God, God is truth. Jesus is truth. The opposite of that, Satan, lies, the prince of lies, the king of lies, the deceiver of nations, that vile, disgusting, despicable creature who got himself kicked out of heaven and who about to get kicked into the lake of hell because he's a big, fat liar. And what has he been doing to us autistic people who just don't understand these lies that are going on and who are trying to like figure out the truth? He teaches us to lie too, and he gets these people and like and it's so, because people, it's crazy. The world is crazy, man. So I get now why these mental illnesses are associated with demonic warfare. Because when you look at what the illness is causing the person to do or feel or behave like, and then you look at how we're taught to cope with that, and you really look at the root of it, it ain't pretty, y'all. That's some demon I beat myself. And like that's demonic warfare. And so when you realize what's going on and you realize what people are doing to you and how they're trying to manipulate you to see whatever it is, or how your own emotions and your depression and your own brain is trying to trick you sometimes. Unless you learn these things, you're going to be lost. You ain't going to know what's going on. You're going to be trying your best. You might get some good days and some bad days. But if you're blind in a field full of holes, sometimes you're going to fall in a hole no matter how good you are. And it's not your fault because you can't see. And when you can really see what's going on, all of a sudden, you're like, wait a second, no, that's a lie. I'm not going to believe that anymore. No. I'm not going to believe that, because, and when you stop accepting the lies and you fight back with the Word of God, just like Jesus did when he was tempted in the wilderness. Sometimes you have to be alone to be almost able to be willing to listen back for God. Because when I've found for myself, when another human is around, I think about that human. Maybe they'll come down. Maybe they'll do this. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe if I did this, they would do that. Maybe they. And I'm like asking God for help. I'm like, I need their help. I'm like, maybe. And God's like, I'm here for you. And so then he took my humans away. And he's like, bam, now you all alone. There's no maybe happening. Because no one is here but me. I'm the one who showed up every night. I'm the one who was there for you. Look at my word. Look how I am there. Look how I never let you down. Look to me. And I get distracted so easily, and I get lost in my past, and I forget. And so he keeps having to take me back alone. But if you look at Jesus, Jesus would go out alone all the time. He would have his times where he would go into the wilderness and pray to God, because he knew how important that alone time with the Father was. He knew how important it was to zero out, because this world is crazy. This world is crazy. And it's spinning. It's moving faster and spinning slower. Figure that one out. And so we have to be on our toes and really be digging into the Word of God, because that's the only truth left in this world. They're taking the truth away. And they're saying truth is relative. That is not true, because everyone knows fair versus unfair. Everyone has that feeling. Everyone can feel it. So we know truth is not relative, because we know there is some sense of fairness and justice. So if we know that truth is not relative, then we know there has to be some sort, even if it's only a little bit, of absolute truth. And I know absolutely that the Bible is true. And I know people can doubt that, people can question it, but honey, God's real. God moves. Ask him to move for you. It's crazy the things he gonna do. So watch what you ask for. He always shows up, and it's not usually the way you thought it was gonna be. You might ask, I really wish I could shave my partner, and then he might make you break up with your partner, and then all of a sudden your ex-partner needs you to shave the back of their neck because they're going to a taping seminar, and you're like, oh, he answered my prayer, but that was really convoluted because that was not the way I was asking. Like, and so I'm just saying, man, like, you never know how God's going to answer your prayers. So don't be single-minded in the way that you think God has to operate in your imagination. He gonna listen to you. He says yes, he says no, he says wait, and sometimes he says, ha, I'm gonna do it like this. That's my favorite. He does that one a lot. And I think it's to kind of just show that he's listening, but he's in control, not you. And so, yeah, I hear what you say, but no, that's not the most healthy thing for you. So I'm going to give you what you asked for, but I'm going to give it to you in a healthy way instead of in an unhealthy way. That way you know I love you and I care for you and I'm listening to you and I hear you. So yeah, that's my thought. Let me know what you guys think. I love you guys. He loves you more. Have a great day.